Hello, it's Samantha Nolan-Smith here for our Tuesday morning chat about visibility. And today we're talking about what your visibility strategy is. I'm just pouring my tea as I'm talking. What your visibility strategy is, and we're talking a little bit about the wonderful Marie Kondo and how one of her principles that she teaches in her approach is vitally important to your visibility strategy. Hello, good morning. Let me know who's on, where you're calling in from, or checking in from. So, visibility strategy in Marie Kondo. First question to ask yourself, particularly this is really around being in business, but it can also be applied to establishing authority in your industry, is do I actually have a visibility strategy? And the visibility strategy as an entrepreneur might be about building traffic. That might be the big thing that you need at the moment. It might be about building connection, or it might be about building authority. So you'd be looking at building traffic if you're quite comfortable with your community. Excuse me, I've just kicked the stand there. You're quite comfortable with your community. Everything's going well. You understand them. They really like what you're doing. But there's a bit of a cap on how many people are in the community. Then your visibility strategy is going to be about increasing traffic. You might be looking at connection. You might have a really a solid number of people coming through the door. So how you know that your traffic strategy, by the way, is on track is you've got people signing up on a regular basis. Just been watching Marie Kondo on Netflix. Off to bed, London time. We'll catch up this video tomorrow. Great, Deborah. I'll see you then. I'll check in then, and I'll come back and comment on anything then. So if you've got people regularly signing up to your email list, your social numbers, whatever you're tracking and whatever really is grabbing, is the place where your community is really hovering toward. If those numbers are growing on a regular basis, then you know that your traffic's okay. I strongly recommend making sure that email is a part of that. But again, there are many businesses that are built purely off socials. I just think that's a little bit risky. So the second one might be, actually what I need to focus on, my strategy needs to focus on connection. We're coming to Marie Kondo in a minute. And the connection would be about, I've got lots of people coming in, but I just feel like there's no engagement. There's no real love in the community. There's no real connection between us in the community. So I don't need to focus so much on the traffic. I need to focus on really understanding who's in this space and what they need from me and listening to them. And so then strategies fall out from there. Actions fall out from that strategy of focusing on connection. Actions like doing surveys, running more live Q&As to actually hear from people, asking questions rather than just broadcasting, etc., etc. Thirdly, the third visibility strategy that you might be focusing on is authority. I'm building authority in my industry. And that you would be doing that if you feel like there's loads of people out there talking about my topic, the topic that I'm called to talk about. And I need to establish that I have something important to contribute to the conversation. And so you've got people coming in the door, you've got a good connection. They're the two other components, traffic and connection. And then you want to build more authority so that people know why they would come to you to hear about that topic as opposed to go to somebody else. So they're the three things. Now, where Marie Kondo comes into that is that once you identify which of those three things do I need to focus on? Do I need to focus on traffic? Do I need to focus on connection? Do I need to focus on authority? Then the big thing is whatever I choose, the actions that I take there, are they joyful? Am I choosing joyful actions? Are they actions that are going to spark joy, or are they actions that feel really depleting or demoralizing or unnatural or not like me? So let's give some examples. if you decide that your visibility strategy for this, I always work in rhythms, so I work in seasons. So the visibility strategy for this season is traffic, let's say, and we'll move through all three. Let's say you're like, okay, I've just got to build my traffic this season. Then what are the joyful ways, thinking like Marie Kondo, take the Marie Kondo approach. What are the things that I'm doing now? Are those things sparking joy? If they're not sparking joy, are there other things that I could be doing to grow traffic that would spark joy? So one of the reasons that I stayed away from growing traffic for a long time was, one, because I had visibility blocks. So I was much more comfortable with being in the sandpit with my small little community than I was, expanding the sandpit. And so that was the first thing. I had to clear visibility blocks. That had to be one of the actions. And clearing visibility blocks is always a key action that's needed. But the other one was, I really thought growing traffic sounded like the most boring thing in the world. And I didn't have anybody saying, well, how could that be joyful for you? How could you grow traffic in a way that, increase traffic in a way that feels fun to you? Because all I could see was men talking about SEO, and the conversation was so technical and it was so boring to me that I just could not come at it. So I'd continue to put, you see how then you continue to put something to the side. The combination of visibility block and it didn't sound fun meant I just kept ignoring it. So clearing the blocks, finding the joy in what can I do to grow my traffic in a way that's enjoyable, feels enjoyable to me. And that might be, I really love being on Instagram. So I'm going to, show up every day. I'm going to really go all in on Instagram, and I'm going to show up every day. I'm going to have so much fun there. And I'm going to build my community that way. I'm going to increase other people's awareness of my stuff that way. For example, it could be that you really love data. You really love tracking keywords and understanding how SEO works, and you go down that path. So let's say one season you're doing that, and then you get to a point where you're comfortable that your strategy is working. So my suggestion would be then double down on that strategy, keep going with it. But at some point you're going to get to the point where you think, okay, well actually my visibility strategy now needs to be to deepen my connection with my community. I've got, the larger your community grows, the more that you need to focus on maintaining that connection. So then the question again becomes, how do I Marie Kondo this? What are the connections that are not bringing me joy anymore? And what are the connections that would bring me joy? And sometimes that might look like, oh, there's an old partnership here that needs to be let go of, or there's an old way of growing my community or connecting with my community that now feels burdensome. I let go of a Facebook group that I've been growing for a number of years, a while back, for that very reason. A couple of years ago I let it go now. For that reason, it just started to feel very heavy, and it started to feel not joyful anymore. So when you get to that point where the things that are building your visibility are feeling burdensome, are feeling less joyful, are feeling more like clutter than they are like pleasure, then that's the point at which you want to divert. You want to pivot your visibility strategy away from. So keep it on the focus on connection, but change the actions that you might take there. And then finally, let's say then you move to, okay, well, I need to build more authority in my industry because let's say you're a money coach. There's loads and loads of money coaches. How are you going to build authority? And that's the strategy that you're working through for that season, is increasing your authority in your industry. Then there are loads of ways you can do that. You can look for interviews with other influencers. You can write a book. You can start doing speaking gigs. You can start a podcast. You can run a community where you're the one who holds the platform, whatever it is for you. Again, you want to be thinking, first of all, well, one, what am I doing that might need decluttering? Are there authority building efforts that I'm putting some time and investment into that aren't really feeling joyful, that are actually feeling like they might be slowing me down, or I just hate them, or I fight with myself every week when I say, you got to do this, and then the other part of me says, don't tell me what to do, I'm not going to do it. So if that's what you're going through, then declutter that approach and open up to, well, what would bring me joy? What authority building activity would bring me joy? And then double down on that, just that. So they're the three things. What's your visibility strategy? I've given you 3 broad topics that you might want to have a look at around building around your visibility strategy. The topic of growing your traffic, the topic of increasing your connection to your community, and the topic of building authority, and then the Marie Kondo. So once you choose which of those you're going to focus on for a season, please don't focus on all of them. Once you choose which one you're going to focus on, then declutter the actions that aren't working for you or that feel terrible to you, and look for the actions that feel joyful, that will spark joy, and then use those. And that is how you Marie Kondo your visibility strategy. I hope that's helpful. Of course, remember, one of the key actions that is really important in every strategy is clearing your visibility blocks. That's what we do every day over at the School of Visibility. That's also why we've teamed up with Marie Forleo for this week only. She closes B School on Friday, and that's because she is the woman who will teach you the how of the strategy. So she's the one who, when you say, well, I'm opening up to the joy, Samantha, you've told me to open up to the joy of how to build traffic, but I've no idea how to build traffic. I don't know which actions to take. That's what Marie teaches. That's Marie's specialty. That's her joy. So she will share all the how, and then when you sign up through us, you get the visibility B School visibility pack, which is then clearing all the blocks that would stop you from taking the action. So learn the how from Marie, clear the blocks to actually implementing the how with me. That's what the B School Visibility Pack offers. If you haven't seen it yet, jump on over to theschoolofvisibility.com/bschool, or one word, no hyphen or anything. And when you sign up through that link, then you get access to all the bonuses for no additional cost for you, because we're an affiliate. Okay, if you've got questions about any of that, let me know. If that has sparked joy for you, let me know. If that feels like, thank God, I now have permission. I now realize I can give myself permission to stop doing this thing that just feels that everybody else says I've got to do to build my visibility, and I do not want to do it. That is never going to work for you. So don't go down that path. Find the joy. Let us know what it has sparked for you, and let's have a chat during the week about it. Okay, see you soon.